5 seconds, please. ENCE versus G2. ENCE victory on console 7-3. All because G2 never droned. They almost never used their drones. What was going on? Did everybody disable their 5 key on their keyboard? I don't know. But it was so odd to see. Odd to see as well as the Jackal pick here, who's not really been up there in terms of pick rate, or ban rate, excuse me. Well, there you go. That's 1, that's 2, with the Monty and Mira being the third one, the first defender removed from play, and now it's all the question. Is it Pulse, is it Valkyrie, is it Echo, is it Maestro? Usually your 4 suspects on this map, and that's going to be the Maestro. Nothing too surprising. G2 will have that operator removed, a play at the end of the ban phase.
How long have we watched Empire that Ashe has been a ban, and no Ashe ban this time around? So that's definitely something interesting there. Most teams do ban Ashe against
Here's my mindset behind it, Parker.
Okay.
Kanto played Twitch a couple days ago, a couple play days ago.
Yes.
It didn't work out. Switched to Ashe. Suddenly everything was working fine.
Right.
So you still want to conserve that level of offensive flexibility for yourself if you're G2. And if your top fragger, your main entry, is more comfortable with Ashe, the playstyle that she encourages, then you kind of have to, you know, keep it up there. And obviously it does leave Empire the ability to run it, and they will indeed have it this time on joystick, to the surprise of nobody on this planet. God's green earth. There's nothing as deadly that's ever been created as joystick, the combination of the Ashe so far. Well,
I think it speaks as well to G2's confidence to be able to play around that. You know, Ashe is a must ban because it does end up being, I don't want to say a crutch operator because I think crutch kind of demeans the skill of the player that's using it. But there is a certain playstyle that Ashe is capable of doing quite well on, right? And when you think about it, I think it does really speak to G2's confidence, like I said, in being able to deal with Empire without needing to counter-ban an operator specifically.
This is a good spot.
Yeah, so basically you can't shoot it.
Yeah, we've seen
people that don't understand where that Valkyrie camera just went inside of the CCTV, you can't shoot it unless you're right on top of it.
Yeah, because you have to really crawl at that point, expose yourself. It's similar to what the Maestro was trying to do in a couple matches before.
Where the Evil Eye cam was.
Yeah, in this case, it's just set in a place where it's like you say faux plafond. I don't know how you say it in English. I completely have no idea what the word is for it in English. It's just an extra bit hanging from the ceiling, a fake ceiling, if you will.
Yeah.
That covers it in that situation, and it's a pretty good position to put your camera in. Now, the Ela is being run by G2, and we saw Fabian maneuvering around the map quite a bit. Not sure if he set up a yokai in those positions, but at least Empire trying to clear out as much of the map as possible before heading down to the bottom floor, and Joystick realizing something is very fishy in open area.
Now, there was one of the yokais from Fabian at the top of the stairs on the 2nd floor, which is very interesting to watch because not a lot of people will leave it there. It actually looks like Fabian has managed to bring it down and get closer in towards the site now that there's only a minute and a half to go. So you've managed to slow Empire a little bit, but they have been very methodical and they're cleared. They took out the entire 2nd floor. There was really nobody from G2 there.
I'll continue on. Karishika should be ready to open up that castle barricade on the side. Let's continue to drone on in, bringing the drone back to where the attackers are setting up to go. And now, very nice that the attackers are able to use both hard breachers, the Habana and the Thermite, which means flexibility. Just more hatches open, basically all of them open, and the Thermite being able to destroy the walls. And that's exactly what the Thermite of Shockwave is going to be doing in this case. At a minute time on the board, now commences the burning of the utility.
All of the walls that separate red from the site are completely solid.
Look at
There's
that.
no pulse on the board. You've got one C4 in the hands of Goga, and that's it. The rest of your plant denial is going to come from your toxic canisters, with Kanto, of all people,
the smoke missing Shockwave.
And Shockwave is going to try to stick for the plant. C4 goes out. They bait it out. 30 seconds to go. And Shockwave will be stopped for just a moment due to that supersonic blast of the Yokai. Joystick, meanwhile, on main stairs, heading down. Shepard takes out Goga. As you can see, Goga's getting taken quite a bit of damage. There goes Kanto. Pengu very low as well as Scyther collects one as Pengu jumped up to finish off Shockwave. Now it's going to be up to Shepard to try to get this diffuser down, Milos, but there's not a lot of time left. Fabian and Jonas both in positions to stop Joystick as he gets down, but oh, Joystick wins the fight. Jonas last alive as it's a successful defuse plant for Empire, and not exactly the best operator to take fights at long range. Karzeka, one of the members of Empire tasked with watching that diffuser. There was many of them.
Yes.
4 members of Empire were still alive. And say goodbye, Jonas. A good read, all things considered. Empire will start things off with a bang.
Sayonara, Jonas, at the end there. That was well done. You saw Empire, the instant they knew that diffuser was going to get set because of Joystick's kill in the hallway, everybody had evac'd the site to play from the hatch that had been pre-opened by the Habana. That's why leaving the Habana available for the attack really weighs heavily on you as the defender because you have to watch so many spots. But the biggest thing is the pulse not being there whilst leaving all the walls soft from CCTV into the red hallway. And this just forced Pengu to play outside of it and jump out to contest. And guess what? There are players on the hatch that are waiting for you. And the fact that Joystick was still able to win his gunfights whilst coming in from the back stairs, huge. There was just nothing you could do as G2 cornered into the sights and so far away. Perfectly baited all 3 smokes and the C4. Honestly, Empire, well done to burn out the utility and leaving themselves with quite a decent chunk of time to still maneuver and get that plant down.
Just precision as well from Empire's side of things. They had multiple sight lines and angles lined up. They had Joystick split pushing, which had to distract at least 2 members. And it really goes to show you how much G2 respects the skills of Joystick. They have to establish a crossfire with Jonas and Fabian. And I don't know if Jonas just simply wasn't looking, or if Jonas just got out-hustled by Joystick, able to walk down and just completely trade off Fabian and then go right back up the stairs. There was no contest from Jonas whatsoever onto the Ash.
Yeah, he was just unsure. So the Ella just sat in the hallway and waited. The Ash is going to push me eventually, but no. Joystick ran around the other side and then ran back away. And Joystick, well, Jonas in that position, did absolutely nothing. Hesitated for quite a long time.
Window control here just in round number 2 as we're 30 seconds in, and it's going to be a CEO hold for G2, and you've got Joystick just staring all the way in. Lots of ammunition for him to do some environmental destruction and open up the walls inside of CEO. You got Kanto this time on Echo, showing the flexibility of G2. Fabian playing the mute in the smoke for forgotten almost from this defense. Once again, good timing for Empire here as they still sit on drones. We'll go back on with Shepard trying to guide the rest of his team in. These CEO walls getting opened up will once again just be a bit of a formality. Very unlikely that somebody will contest it, but oh no! Pengu looking the wrong way. Not expecting Joystick to blow open that castle barricade, and obviously missing the call as it's well timed alongside the exothermic charge of Thermite. It's a very first and easy kill for Empire with Joystick barely breaking a sweat.
Yeah, that definitely is going to start to weigh heavy on G2. Now, I didn't quite spot if they had opened the wall just yet with the Thermite, but they're going to have to do something else in this situation. What that else is running the Vigil. So it's up to Jonas here to maybe hold on to the side wall and at least contest in trading, but Shepard will win out the gunfight. And even the simple task of doing that, it's proving to be a bit too much early on here for G2. Fabian will be relegated to the position of flank watch as he actually moves quite deeply into the hallway, a position that is very difficult to hold. And there you see the results of it. Shepard getting 1, and actually even an extra team go make that 2 kills then, quote-unquote, technically. Kanto Ricchetti, last man alive. He'll drop 1 in the back, but still alive is Joystick. Find 1 more. Take down Kanto. It's just... everything's open. Everything's preset to be open, and G2 want to fight. But they can't win the gunfights against Empire.
No. Interesting to see the way that Empire actually collapsed, because after those walls got opened up, there was nothing that stopped Joystick on rappel. There was very little, if anything, to stop the pressure inside of Skylight. And it's also a little bit interesting that Empire is just winning their gunfights over G2 because G2 is some of the most accurate, mechanically skilled players in the whole world.
Yeah.
You might even argue that in the top 10 or even the top 5, 4 of that team are probably in the top 5.
Yeah.
Best in terms of just gunplay alone. And when you look at the way that this game is shaped up, you even saw it from Kanto there. He missed half of his shots. What is with that shakiness? Where is your confidence?
Saving stress.
Well, they're obviously saving everybody at home an awful lot of time by trying to get this map over with quickly, if that's the case. I don't think they're saving anything, personally.
Not in this situation.
There's something going on with G2 in terms of what appears to be, in my mind, confidence.
Yes, and not just that, but also maybe some, not communication error in the way that information is not being relayed correctly, but
10 seconds to go.
not being super confident with the job that each person is tasked to. So you're not, as a player, you're not super confident that your teammate will do the job correctly, and that doubt, that thing that did not exist in the past for G2, that is showing here, and they're not playing comfortably at all. That's how you make them lose.
It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one. And I mean, when you've got Kanto and Jonas, these guys don't miss their shots.
No.
They just don't. Pengu doesn't miss his shots either. They're laser-like precision with these guns. And what did we just see? Number one, Pengu has his back exposed to an explosion that's behind him, in which he should have heard about. But Kanto and Jonas just simply missing their shots, and Jonas will land enough to take about 55 HP off of Karzeka. But Karzeka just walked right in and just trounced him, blind. It didn't even look like there was a drone guiding Karzeka in. He just knows.
Because you're expecting someone on the stairs, right?
And
Top
Jonas
stairs
plays on stairs as well. With Jonas played Zofia, he would anticipate that there would be somebody playing on the stairs. When he plays Ella, he plays on the stairs. You know it ahead of time. And I don't know what it is with G2, but they're not able to land their shots. I don't know if it's just simply the more they lose, the less confidence players like Kanto, like Pengu have, and it gets them, because this is not a team that is used to losing.
No.
Who knows what it is, but if G2 cannot land their shots, they're not going to be winning these fights, especially against Empire, who are very quickly making a name for themselves with 3 of the best shots, too. But there you go. Gogo will land his shot. The Spaniard coming in clutch when need be, and he takes out Karzeka downstairs in servers.
It's a good kill on the sledge. Shepard still looking around to see if someone will move in and potentially chuck a C4 up through the skylight hatches. It seems like the offense here knew that Pengu was positioned somewhere around it, but that was a bit in the past on the server. See, he has maneuvered and set himself up in the gold vault. A minute 15 is the time as the wall gets blown open. It's pretty darn good timing here for Empire, but you know what they have to contest with? Yeah, sure, you know, the Ella was taken out, but was that a yokai?
I think that was a Valkyrie camera. I think that was a Valkyrie camera. I'm not entirely certain. That did not make a yokai sound. That made a Valkyrie camera sound.
There were so there were kind of 2 set up in there. Okay,
yeah,
odd enough, but still, there's 2 C4s available for the defense, and Fabian is now going to try to contest joystick. He moves right on into the garage, and Fabian can have his legs spotted, and he's going to get down and taken out very swiftly by joystick. There you go. That's a big loss there, not having the Echo anymore, and joystick. Oh man, the second headshot onto Kanto Raketti makes them out. It's Kanto confetti, basically. Pengu with 1 on the Shepard. C4 will miss, but so much damage done. The Shockwave will opt out of going for the diffuser plant and just find the final shot on Pengu. There you go, knowing that the pulse was so low on health.
Why do you have Kanto Raketti re-engage an Ash with an ACOG who's on the other end of the garage with an SMG-11, knowing there's an armored car in the way? You have a tiny fraction of that body to hit on an Ash. You know, it's... I honestly, I don't understand. I genuinely don't know why they would have made that play, why Kanto would have re-peeked that. But it did look like there was a crash on Jonas' side of things, so we're gonna come back to us between this matchup, and it's gonna stall out Empire a little bit. They are currently on fire at the moment.
Oh yes. It's definitely a tough position to be in if you're G2, you know, halfway through that first half and you can't find a single round on the board. And it's not like they were close. Nowhere near close.
You just brought it into us right now. They brought it in.
Bring it in. Come here, champ.
They can't get any closer. They could probably get closer.
Yeah.
When you look at both CCTVs, I mean, Jonas losing his fight at the top of stairs. Just loses it. As Ella, obviously... hard to control the recoil over Scorpion, but Sledge is not that far away.
Yeah, he was at the other end of the hallway. And
2 to 3 meters, maybe max.
Yep, that's well said. in every way, shape, or form.
And then Fabian engages on the Ashe. That's a very winnable fight. Now, he's the one playing with the armored truck in front of him. He's the one who's only got a tiny portion of his body exposed, but I think he knows that Joystick is coming. He tries to make a play to get away. He realizes that he can't really move because he'll be too exposed. Kanto gets called for reinforcements, which shows up a little too late, and then Kanto stays too long. That was the big thing. Is that
there were a solid 5 to 10 seconds there where Kanto was just present. And instead of just falling back and playing a closer angle to shut down the Ashe later, because the wall into garage, I believe, was reinforced as well, the hallway, you don't have to worry about flanks that much. You just have to worry about putting yourself in the correct angle to contest the Ashe and give yourself the biggest bonus possible. The Ashe, you mentioned, is fighting behind a car. There's a lot of her body covered. You can't just rely on, oh, I'm here with a hollow, I'm just going to peek, one tap, and then go away.
And the SMG-11 is not a gun to engage at long ranges, not like it used to be, at least. I mean, obviously some people can make it work. You get a couple taps on that thing and it's good, but it just goes, it soars up into the sky when you take a couple shots on it. And that is something that you need to keep in mind too for Kanto Raketti, who you put him in a position where he's trying to trade off Fabian, but you lose both your smoke and your echo. Two key parts of your plant denial. The two most important parts of your plant denial, other than Goga and the Valkyrie with the C4. But G2 hasn't been reinforcing the wall to play around it either. So I am fascinated by what is going on so far, and Empire have read them absolutely perfectly.
Quite perplexing, to say the least. Yeah, we're getting this match up and ready as we rehost the lobby. And we'll see if G2 can actually recover from this. This is starting to become more of a thing to say. Can G2 come back?
Well, it's going to snowball. That's the big thing too, right? I mean, let's look at our first matchup between, Secret and Penta.
Just happens to be on bank as well.
It was a defensive match. Went 11 rounds, 7 of them went for the defense. All right, cool. Let's look at what we see for Listream and Chaos. It went 11 rounds as well, and, well, would you look at that? 7 of them went for, 6 of them went for attack, and 5 of them went for defense. So the attackers are actually winning quite a bit on both sides of the equation. Obviously, the first one was defender-sided, but Empire is racking it up on attack. In fact, actually the best side so far in attack that we've seen, outside of Listream, who put 3 together to end their half. So, interestingly enough, this will be a make or break round, I feel like, at least for this side of things, because G2 is going to try a new site. They're going to go to Teller's Archives. They're going to see what works, but they're bringing a very similar lineup to what they've been bringing the whole time.
Yeah. Now, one thing to learn from Penta's secret match is, ooh, there you go, Mute being picked up at the end. So the 6th pick for Goga. Oh, into the dock. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'm
bringing it, Dog.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if the dock or the castle will be bringing the bulletproof camera. Possibly the dock in this situation. If we can take a look at Goga's kit, as most likely he'll be playing on the top floor if that is the case. Because we saw, again, Penta Secret, the instant that the top floor was let go and not contested, where Secret, they're playing on the defense in that case, all that Penta had to do was just destroy some of the wall from floorboard and have complete control of the site from above. Well, in this case, you cannot let that go if you're G2. It is very possible that Kanto is playing the Echo in this time,
10 seconds to go.
which is not your usual thing, but G2 are also well known for switching around their players and their roles fairly effectively. Definitely be seeing him setting up a Yokai drone possibly here to support his teammates. Now, the wall on the side here into office is soft, and the complete wall into tellers is soft as well. A ton of soft walls being set up by G2, or not being set up by G2.
I don't know what it is with G2 keeping walls soft. Not really sure, but
they want to put as much utility as possible on the top floor, which is really the only explanation in this position, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't make too much sense. The office is completely open. If Empire scout that out, then they can definitely go for an offense through that angle, and players will be spotted very easily by Karasheka on the sledge drone.
I was going to say, I don't know if G2 is aware that 2 of their members are under surveillance up top. Obviously, one of them just got pinged. That looked like it was Goga on the dock. And then another one comes out here, and Goga gets finished off with Karzeka. They had 3 drones from Empire up above, and there was no support for G2. And in fact, the only other member of G2 who was from above, who appears to have gotten off as far away as possible, Jonas, well, he could have possibly, or no, it's Kanto rather, and Well, he's actually going to make quick work of Karzeka. But you got Joystick hot on his heels. Oh, that looked like it should have taken Kanto's head off, but he'll walk away with it as Jonas clobbers Scyther. And now Shepard is there watching the top stairs. Interestingly enough, Empire will have to fight from behind on this round in particular. And Kanto, once again, extremely aggressive, looking for another. Shepard isn't there, but Jonas is. And G2, they collapse on Empire the moment that the Russians get in the building.
Yeah, Empire get pretty comfortable having that early pick, but Karzeka's kill was just not enough to drive them home. 3 kills for Kanto Rocketti there on the Echo, masterfully done with the MP5 SD. And well, the 2K, the roaming vigil. Everybody's so preoccupied from Empire to try and shut down the Echo that they kind of forgot that there's an extra player flanking, or at least did not know of that sort of situation. And there you go. That's the first site that G2 will be able to win. They'll go back to Locker CCTV. Fabian bringing the dock this time. I wonder if there's going to be a Pulse 6th pick. Would make a ton of sense. No, Jonas going for the Vigil. So this is G2's reaction. We want to keep Empire on their toes. We're going to move around the map and roam as much as humanly possible instead of relying more on the turtle playstyle, which proves ineffective against Empire just because Joystick and Karzeka are able to just find angles in places you would not be expecting, even if you are on the defense yourself. So I like this adaptation. It has worked in one round so far. We'll see if this continues for G2 as they try to bring this one back. So far, our halves have turned into 3-3 ties today in Bank. So we'll see if that streak continues or Empire will at least find the bonus round at the end of this half. There you go. Castle barricades being set up to protect the flank play of G2.
That was a castle barricade that we actually saw them run last time around, if I recall, and it was really just the sledge that hit it and just walked right on in. And that's exactly what Karzeka did before he was able to take out Jonas.
Yeah, 2 bulletproof cameras actually being played by G2 in this situation. Fabian and Jonas. I'm not sure if Jonas had set up his, though. We'll check for that later on. In the meantime, Karzeka and Joystick going for the same top-to-bottom take.
It's really masterful actually the way that we have seen Empire be able to take hold of that CEO, and it's funny because Empire does the same thing almost every single time. Look at when they were attacking on Border last play day against Mocket. They literally just walk right on in to Office every single time. Mocket have no answer. They don't adapt at all. And it looks to be the same way here, as CEO is always the playground for Empire.
Well, breaching round in the hands of Joystick here, can definitely use it to enter. The castle's heard in the back, and as Pengu is trying to rush back, Joystick uses this time to perfectly bait him. Goga will find 1 kill, Kanto with the second, but Joystick is still alive. Impact Grenade is not enough to kill him just yet. The top of the head spotted, but Kanto is ready. He sprays through the wall and takes down Joystick, and yet again, as we saw in the previous round, the roam play from G2 able to shut down Empire, as Empire have been relying too much on single-player assaults and not enough team play on this roam clear. Goga will find 1 more on a Shepard, as the rest of G2 have evac the site. Scyther is last man alive, but I believe the Grim Reaper is going for him in this situation. In a 4 versus 1, G2 are out for blood.
Actually, like Jonas was just going to toss his life away there. He does, and actually multiple members of G2 are very low on HP, even though they had a dock on the board, but there's Fabian to quite literally heal his team. Bring them all together is a beautiful shot. Look at that.
It's all about healing yourself. Fabian knows that he's going to be the most effective player on the whole squad. So might as well keep all the healing for himself.
All right, so you got 2 rounds back-to-back for G2, and I don't know what it is, but Empire just looking not as strong. They don't look as confident, and G2 are using a little bit of the magic that seems to be used against them every time. They're peeking everything. They're being exceedingly aggressive.
Kind of realized that we were talking about this, Kix and I, last night with Latam. The defenders now have had the shift in priority from playing passively and turtle style on a site and maybe sending 1 player out to poke here and there, to turning a lot more aggressively and needing to be aggressive to counter what the attackers are bringing. Once they have the shutdown or 1 or 2 players from the attackers, the round snowballs the defense's way, but it requires a lot of roam from those defenders. And You embrace the metagame. It's exactly what G2 are doing here. And then you support it by having an echo. That's great. And it's definitely working out for G2. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Did you just try to...
I like it. That's much older, though.
Okay.
I don't know who made the song.
We're not getting into this again.
No.
Thank you for just not singing, man.
I don't. Yeah, because in this case, I really don't know who it is.
All right. We'll get underway. Final round for the defense on G2, and they've looked better through their 2. I don't know what happened with Jonas. Maybe he took his vitamins while he was away and his game crushed. But they've been able to play a lot smarter and a lot more aggressive for G2. And once again, CEO for Karzeka and for Joystick.
All right, Karzeka continue to drone in as these drones have been fairly effective in netting Empire early picks, but the past couple rounds not been enough to get more, as the instant one of the players tries to engage the remaining squad of G2, they're kind of met with a solid wall, and usually it's a mixture of Kanto and Jonas, the two Finns really working together fairly well on their swarm game.
A pretty nice entry here as well, and I'm glad that G2 has not been really occupying all that much space upstairs when you think about it. They've got a couple bodies over by the stairwell, but they're being a lot more conservative, which is just allowing Joystick to walk on in. And oh, he sees the dog at Goga, goes for a second, but he gets dropped by Kanto Raketti. And Jonas is there to clean up Shepard too. Kanto and Jonas have been roaming much better together. Fabian as well roaming will take out Shockwave, and Empire really don't have much going. Trying to kickstart this offense that had done them so well for 3 rounds, but is stalled out for the time being. Decisive will collect yet another kill for his team and take out Kanto and Goga, so both of the ACOGs down for G2. But for Empire, well, they're going to try to transition in towards this main lobby. It's going to be fighting from behind, though, in a 2v3.
The vertical play here definitely helps out G2, but Scyther will bring it back in the 2 versus 2, taking down Pengu. So now not having to worry about the castle later on. Bulletproof cameras, however, had already been set up by G2, as Empire have shut down the roam. Those players wherever they may roam. Again, get another reference. Scyther to open up the sidewall here in the hallway, as he can use the second of the X-Kairos to take down the castle barricade that had already been preset, but he's gonna wait around for his buddy the Sledge of Karzeka to come in and destroy that barricade in the meantime.
There's always hope for Team Empire when Karzeka is still on the board. I think he's been a bit of an unsung hero here, being able to do calls for the team while also fragging out quite well, and is a proficient shot on just about any operator, though he does tend to work alongside Joystick on these entry-style roles. But don't count out G2. They're playing inside of open area, so this is a bit of an interesting and fascinating way to go about it. Obviously, Empire was not prepared for that, especially not with the tools they have at their disposal. But both members are miles away from the site and will need to transition quickly. 10 seconds to go. Jonas peeks out. He sees Karzeka. Can't really do all that much. Scyther's position given away. He'll push right into the Vigil. Oh, and Fabian is there to clean up Jonas as well. And G2 manage to really pull a rabbit out of a hat on this one, taking 3 rounds in a row. Beautiful precision from Jonas.
Yeah, you're kind of expecting a player to come in, but instantly switching around to head level. It's exactly what you want. A lot of training, and that's what we said early on. It's not like G2 are lacking anything in the skill and gunfight realm. It's just...
coordination has really been their undoing. Though I will say that I think Kanto and Jonas have been quite shaky on their shots. Fabian seems to be landing his just fine. Pengu looks okay. Goga as well is okay. But when you've got 2 of your hardest carries on G2, just not able to hit the shots they need, that's a problem.
Yep, well,
it's a major problem.
They definitely changed that in the second half of that first half, I guess, the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6th picks will come out here. The IQ will get picked up, as well as the Pulse, plus the Mute. They played by Team Empire. They'll have 3 C4s, so you can tell how the setup is going to run for Empire. Less roam, more plant denial by having 3 C4s again, the Pulse giving in information, and Karzeka with the smoke. And so far, they're setting up the single reinforced wall downstairs in the red hallway. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is as standard as it's going to get when it comes to bank defense in CCTV.
I'm interested to see how Empire is going to play this on defense, because it's one thing to entry on Bank, but roaming on Bank can be a wildly different beast for a lot of teams. One of the teams that I enjoy roaming and playing on Bank the most is NiP, and it's the way that they play it, especially now they've added Pino.
Oh, yes.
This team NiP ends up being so aggressive on the way that they roam, and they really try to cut down the attackers when they entry. Well, what ends up happening with Empire is they have just as aggressive a team. And I would even argue that Empire's players probably have a bit better aim than, you know, Psycho Kamikaze and Pino do. For NiP, though, it's a bit of a toss-up. How are we going to see Empire do it? Are we going to see Empire be a little bit more static, a little bit more reserved, or are we going to see them bring it to G2 the way that G2 just did for those final 3 rounds?
Go. Valkyrie camera will get spotted by Kanto. Swiftly dispatched in the hallway. A bit more of a easier position to spot. Nobody from Team Empire, as I mentioned before, will be contesting them, as Joystick's actually playing downstairs, possibly watching the hallway and the stairs at the same time to prevent G2 from finding an easy flank kill. But 2 minutes on the board, and G2 see that everything is clear. Well, they're going to start setting up their players for different positions. And see the IQ of Fabian dropping down, Kanto holding the stairs, and Goga. Something blew up, so must mean that Goga and Pengu are up to no good.
You got Kanto looking for Echo drones as well as Valkyrie cameras on the stairs as he makes his way down, anticipating somebody playing quite aggressively. This is a spot that a lot of teams, especially in Europe, play on almost religiously here. And it looks like Kanto is almost sure that he's on some kind of surveillance.
I like this extra angle that's been opened up in the server. You used to see a lot more of this back when Glazing was very much the metagame. Joystick trying to push up the main stairway and contest the Ash of Kanto, and a lot of damage done to Kanto Raketti, but it seems like the Ash masters and will take one another out.
That's a hard shot to make for Kanto. He made that through the little marble banisters. That's not an easy one to make. Perfectly timed C4, but when did it get shot? It must have been shot out of the air, as Goga will persist. And looks like he'll be able to get the plant down as he goes back on it. Shepard and Shockwave both bite the dust as G2 will double up and now have full control as they'll watch the hatches and also watch the main doorway in towards the site. Karzeka and Scyther will have to try to push back. G2 will take the lead. A great C4 gets tossed up from Scyther, but it won't net anything. His position does get given away, and he's got too many angles to watch. And G2 will be able to have Jonas and Pengu sitting above those hatches, raining down bullets. And Pengu, of course, inside of server, as we can see. And G2, 4 rounds in a row. Really impressive comeback.
Yeah, this is what they've been needing to do. 4 rounds in a row. Of course, 3 on the defense, 1 on the attack now. Seems like they figured out Empire. And again, because Empire, this is similar to what G2 had done when they started off on the defense, right? What happens is that Empire stuck too long to the site and could not pressure the attackers enough. And what does that mean? G2 had a complete reign over the site. And once the attack came down, there was really nothing that Empire could do about it. G2's adaptation was, let's roam more, let's spend more time pushing the attackers. Will this be the same adaptation for Empire? We'll just have to see. Let's go back to the same site.
It's really hard to retake when you lose control of that site, especially, as I said, in the Penta secret match, when you find yourself down numbers. Really, really difficult. It doesn't matter if you're G2, it doesn't matter if you're Empire. It's not easy at all.
No.
Not really surprising to see Empire struggling here. The whole team, though, has gone quite cold since we came back, and CCTV will be the site for round number 8. It'll be Empire's second crack. And they're going to instead, opt to bring a Clash.
Okay.
Keep in mind, Clash on the current TTS, the test server, has some changes. That SMG that is being run by Shepard, well, it's going to be full automatic, giving her a bit more firepower.
Yeah. It seems like Team Rainbow has given her the utility to change it up and actually have the button that goes to full auto on the side of the G9s.
Yeah, and we saw how effective Clash can be here. Not on this site, though, both times on open area being trotted out by Penta, but interesting to see the way that Empire does it, because Shepard is a good shot, but you're going to have him on support roles for the most part. He's not going to be relied on to frag all that well. He does tend to be one of the last alive, which is a perfect place to find a Clash.
Yeah.
So good usage there, at least the time that the Clash is going to have left alive. Anywho, Empire loves CEO upstairs so much that they attack on it, and they also defend from it, even though the site is all the way in the basement. This means that G2 have taken about a minute to go on in. We'll need to try and figure out where Joystick is. Just a blind pre-fire through the wall of Jonas almost nets a kill, but Joystick is ever elusive. Still up top, nobody being able to figure out where he is. And it doesn't look like there are many members of G2 on drone at all. And it looks like they're going to be droning through the main lobby, which is conveniently where Joystick has dropped down to. So that will work out quite well if G2 are able to spot Joystick and get somebody into that area of the map.
Now that's the thing, is there going to be enough information for Kanto to run on? As Joystick usually plays, maneuvers around the map quite a lot. And you always see him present in every single part of it. It seems like just teleports behind you and, you know, nothing personnel kiddo as just slaps people around. In this round, trying to do so, but not given the opportunity by G2, as Shockwave set up in the servers here as well. Used to see this a long time ago. It's kind of not been the case for quite a while. Joystick will get one on a Jonas. C4 will not connect, but turn around and take down Kanto. Shockwave masterfully done, expecting the push. Goga taking a lot of damage there from Scyther, using the clash very well here, G2, but no, they've come in from the back. They're going to try to go for the plant, as is Pengu and Fabian alive, but look at that, the diffuser's so far away, and there's no one to try and save it. Shockwave to get one kill on Pengu. Fabian is the last man alive on the IQ. A lot of time to play with here, but no utility at all. Of course, shut down Joystick, but that diffuser's on the other side. You got to run, and guess what's waiting for you on that side? It's both a clash and a Legion. And guess what? On top of all of that, there's a pulse that's tracking exactly where you're going.
Or trying to, at minimum.
We'll dive on down and go for the kill. No, Shockwave is ready, and damn, Shockwave. Beautiful play in the round. 3K playing on the server, and then rotating back, realizing that, you know what, we might have control of the diffuser, but I'm going to fall back on red just in case there's a dive from behind.
Well, I mean, the pulse never left, right? He was down there the whole time. He ended up getting the kill as Fabian was entering with, I believe it was Goga, and then immediately the pulse just stuck there. Yeah. And Fabian had to rotate up, but I think he realized at that time you got to go for, you know, you really got to go for frags at that time. You got a frag chase with 3 left. You're not going to be able to retrieve that diffuser. Any good team worth their weight in gold will just, or worth their weight will just sit there on that diffuser and camp it. As you mentioned, it's going to be a clash. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. You know, Fabian did not have the tools available to be able to handle a clash, even really solo, providing that clash can maintain a good charge on the Taze on her shield. So,
to locate and defuse bombs.
All in all, really good round from Empire, and a lot of it broke down in the middle of the round too. That was the thing.
And I want to compare this as well to what G2 had done. It's pretty much the same adaptation. We're gonna get in your face. We're not gonna play on site. We're gonna get in your face and try to play to our advantage. As defenders, nowadays in professional play, that is, and specifically in professional play, you want to dictate the pace of the match. Once you do that, the attackers are more often than not stuck. They're unable to realize and know exactly what they should be doing to defeat your aggression. So, Team Empire now will set up in CEO, and they're going to have Castle as well to close up as many as of those windows as humanly possible at top of those stairs. Well, Fabian coming in from below, taking down all the cameras in his wake.
So what's the main focus going to be here for G2? This is a pretty conventional castle strategy that we see that is employed by Empire and Shockwave. Onto the 2 windows on Banana. You've likely got another castle barricade over on the CEO, double windows, or possibly even on the doorway. It actually does look like it's going to be the doorways. Kanto Raketti burns one of those breaching rounds. You know, thank his lucky stars that Joystick didn't have an ADS position, because that could have been a significant blow to G2 to be able to take out that barricade. Obviously, the way that you're going to play a castle on this setup, especially up top in Banana, is, well, you have to make G2 expend utility, because there's no way they're going to be able to get that close to start knocking at the door, because you got all those windows in that Banana area inside of the office. And somebody's just going to leap out and punish you. That's really it. So while half the team does drone work, the rest of G2 is going to try to take map control and just circle around the CEO office. Pretty typical for teams to have 4 bodies inside and maybe 1 defender off-site. That's really all you need. Jonas is going to find Shockwave. That castle usually will play inside a site, so that's a big pick, and Jonas on Repel will now fall off. His job is done.
It's exactly what had happened to Pengu when G2 were playing on this site, where the castle was instantly shot down. In this case, the castle was running most of his barricades by the spiral stairs, and there you go. They're going to get shot down by Jonas to allow G2 to have more angles them to contest. Joystick at the other end here of the hallway. In trading, he's going to try to watch out for Fabian, as Fabian gets one on Karasheka, and they know exactly where he is. And wow, Fabian, great shot to take down Joystick. Kanto with one more on Shepard. And guess what? Scyther all on his own. He'll find one kill. He'll find two as well. Pengu can heal himself up to 100%. Still has 3 charges of the stim pistol, but he'll try to challenge Goga. Play disadvantage, but unfortunately, that's the loss for Empire. G2 go ahead with 5 rounds on the board versus the 4 of Empire, and the game continues to swing back and forth. The endless pendulum showing us how things go between these two fairly equal teams.
Very swift for G2.
Yep.
Took map control of lobby. They had great drone work. They were able to pinch off 2 members of Empire while there was pressure on either side. I think half that team of Empire's comms were a mess trying to take care of the drones and where they were going to get pushed from, all trying to set up for Joystick to be able to play inside of trading and be able to catch somebody as they push that hallway, but they were ready for him. This is the G2 that teams know and fear. And yet, despite how well G2 has played in comparison to previous matchups, Empire is still keeping this close. And that's a major feather in the cap of Empire here. Empire, obviously, have not lost. They have looked indefatigable. They have been just an outstandingly strong team. G2 have needed this motivation, and they've got it, and they're doing very well, all things considered. A second crack at CEO for Empire, I would imagine, will likely see something different, because they can't just run into it the same way as before.
This is it. The bulletproof camera to give them information. Now, I believe it was set up in a similar position before, but Kanto was able to destroy it. I wonder if there will be the change to put in ADS to save that position.
I don't know if they're going to bother gambling in ADS that far out. That'll definitely be something to watch.
Alright, Kanto again might go for the rappel here, and making sure they took down the camera in the back. Scyther, in the meantime, just checking things out, and he will spot Kanto. So this is the information that they needed. They want to know where the Ash is. The drone is going to get sent in as Scyther sets himself up. Unfortunately, tags the side of the wall there. He knows now, Kanto, that it's where the dock is, and will try to chase the frag. But unfortunately for Kanto, the dock has fallen back. Minimum, though, what you get as G2 is a bit more map control, and that's the minimum you're looking for.
You imagine we'll see probably a joint effort here with drone work in the lobby just to make sure that the lobby is clean and clear, and then the rest of G2 will just circle around the back of the CEO office. And that does appear to be the play right now, though. That's going to be a bit of a waste of drones here as Empire grabs a couple of them, just playing by that CEO office. Kanto on rappel by front door. All right, so you've got G2 holding down the lobby and possibly across should it come out, or over by the side, actually. He's on rappel, interestingly enough, by the parking garage. So he's going to hold the elevator. He's going to hold the top of spiral stairs. Possibly as like some artillery almost, just be able to lob bullets and lob gunfire and explosives, etc. in through that window.
Goga pre-firing everything there, but Jonas will find the first kill at a minute 25, halfway through the round. Take down the castle, not the most important of operators for that defense, but a perfect timing on the Dokkaebi call for Fabian. Joystick will take down Goga. That's diffuser now down on the floor and can be easily watched by Empire.
What a shot from Joystick to emerge from the CCTV or from the server stairs, take one down, and then immediately go back down into a place that is often referred to as blue. So really, ultimately, a great job. And Jonas is just going to walk right in, and nobody apparently sees him. But Scyther is there. He's been promoted to Doc. He'll take 2, and Shepard cuts down Fabian, leaving just Kanto, Raketti. Say goodbye to Scyther. The Finn's going to continue to go on as Ash, but he's got Joystick and Shepard to find. Shepard is far off. Joystick waiting on the stairs. There's your call. He's trying to bait you out. Flash the Jaeger, anticipating the smoke, might be able to go after him, but Kanto's just going to walk right in. He's completely blind on info. But the smoke is going to get pushed. Drops the hatch. Beautiful play by Shepard. Kanto does not hold the diffuser. He's going to have to go fetch it. It's over by the double panels inside of CEO. This is ripe for opportunity. But if the smoke is smart, he'll just play from below. Look at how far away they are. Nobody is really in position right now to be able to take Kanto down. He's going to be exposed for another 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds, and then, well, he's got some marks. Oh, he takes out Joystick. And all the pings right now onto Shepard, low on HP. Shepard might be blind. Oh, what a great shot for Kanto! The monstrous clutch on Banana. He'll get Shepard, say bye-bye, and G2 will move on to match point. All because a wonderful 1-on-3 from Kanto goes in their favor.
I cannot believe it. Everything played so well by Empire. But then Kanto Raketti happens. This is a state we haven't seen G2 in since the start of this season against Mocket. Now they're looking close to taking this whole game. I'll remind you, Team Empire are not out of the running just yet. They can keep that top spot. They will keep it, actually, regardless of how this game goes. But tying with G2 will give them that extra point on the board to make sure G2 don't get higher up in the standings. And as Empire, you're really looking for that. Make sure that G2 don't even make it to land.
To locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I mean, look at the teams in EU right now. Lestream, G2, Empire. Chaos for the time being. We'll see if their position changes. The new Penta that seems to have awoken.
Bomb located by attackers.
Who's going to land from that? It's up in the air.
No.
The thought process that G2 makes land all the time and are always the team to beat is still going to hold. But G2 has struggled for 3 weeks now. And even in this matchup against Empire, this has not been a crushing defeat for Empire by any stretch of the imagination. Empire walking away with a draw is perfect for them. They still get a point. You still keep G2 from maximizing their point total. And that's what you need. That's a win for them.
In the end, tying would be still pretty good for Empire. The biggest loser of that tie will be G2, even though technically there is no loser in the game.
Yeah. When you're in a position where you need to be able to walk away with as many points as possible, then yeah. The team that needs the points loses when they get a tie. That's just how it works.
That's a negative tie. In the sports terms, they call it a negative tie.
That's what Space Station is like right now in North America. Space Station has, what, 3 draws in a row? 4 draws in a row?
Like
I think they have 4 draws in a row or something along those lines. That's a loss every time now because you are getting so tantalizingly close, but you're leaving points on the table.
Reminds me of Obey in the last season.
Yep.
And look at how that ended at the end of it. You still need to get rounds and maps and games on the board. Unfortunately, for G2, that hasn't been the case so far. Maybe today it will be the one that breaks the cycle, as Empire definitely giving them a hard time. G2 having a great comeback so far. You see the clash in the back, trying to at least distract G2 from their real goal here, which is killing the player behind that clash. In the meantime, Joystick is setting up for an eventual flank. That usually comes up a lot later in the round.
Oh! What a toss!
That's a shocker.
Right from the hatch below, and what lies below, or what lies beneath indeed. What a great toss to try and keep this round in Empire's favor.
Wonderful play from Shockwave, as he might be the one to save the round yet again. He spots the rush from the Habana, goes in for the knife, but Pengu, a quick tap of the C button, puts him down. Try and fight either, though. Coming around from the back, Karjeka finding one more. Pengu so tantalizingly low on health. Gets sprayed by Scyther, and wonderfully done by Team Empire in the round. That C4 was cash money. Well, more like, servers money, but still.
Well, you already said money in the bank.
Yeah, but this is cash money. It's different. Why are you...
What? You already used your money in the bank?
But it's cash money. It's different.
Cash money. That's fair.
There you go. I got references.
Match point.
They might not always be correct.
CEO again. 3rd time's a charm. Interestingly enough, Empire have not had very much diversity on their defenses.
No.
CCTV lockers downstairs 3 times. CEO upstairs 3 times. No tellers, no open area. Like I said, very little diversity, very little flexibility.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
Very interested to see though what ends up coming of this, because it's probably should have been around in favor of Empire on round number 10, but G2, well, Kanto Raketti rather, ended up holding it for them. Just all on his own, basically. with that massive clutch.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I wanna go through and analyze it and maybe ask it as a question. You know what's going on, but I feel that would be a thing where no one really, except for Kanto, can really respond, and it'll be more like, yeah, I tried, I kind of played my game sense, and there you go. I guess I won. There's nothing real outside of that, and again, this is why it's so entertaining to watch some of the best players in the world, because in situations that should be unwinnable, they kind of just turn it around, and you're like, what just happened? And guess what? They're asking the same question as well. So that's just the experience shining, as Kanto's been posting pictures and kind of showed that within the past year, actually, he's getting closer and closer to a year of playing tournament. Well, which is it? A year and a half, almost 2 years of playing tournaments now. As his first tournament was U2 Season 1 with Sisu back then.
Yep. A lot of growth for that player as well.
Yes.
And I mean, no disrespect towards ENCE, but the ability that he has shown since joining G2 and at the time Penta has been remarkable. And watching that growth, just the way he can carry games. It's nice to see him have a little bit of a swagger back in his step, just eating people alive, because that really was absent for the last couple play days.
Oh, yes.
And when you have, not necessarily that you rely so strongly on Kanto, but if he cannot lead the team, that's a problem, because that's his job, is to kill everything.
And that's his job right now. He's going to try to hunt Joystick in the back, but Joystick is giving him a run for his money. Fabian was trying to get information and relay it back to Kanto to allow their Ashe at least box in the Jaeger, and they'll be successful in that. However, the camera now being destroyed, it is the Jaeger all on his own. Joystick will have to rely on his own game knowledge and experience, and game sense, that is. Kanto might just forego this entire fight. No, just gonna stick to it. Okay, this is wasting at least a lot of time. That's something pretty good for Team Empire. The minute 15 on the clock as it keeps going away. G2 in the meantime are setting up for a take from the front lobby.
I'd be a little bit worried about timing, but that's really about it. Keep in mind that this is CEO, and you still have this game of cat and mouse downstairs, but you've got two people tied up. So I mean, you've got Kanto tied up, and you've got Joystick tied up, and while Joystick is gone, Kanto just beheads him in brutal fashion downstairs.
All right, Shepard still on top, and with 4 players left alive at 45 seconds, it's still a winnable position, of course, for Team Empire, you know. But they do lose out on the catwalk. That position will be forfeit and given away to G2. Ascyther, though, will get one Fabian with the refrag on a Shockwave. All refrags now in the advantage of G2. Jonas trying to use his utility. The burn ADS is at least stun players in the back by the meeting. Jonas ready to peek, but Karjeka will outduel him in that situation. Scyther will get one more on Agoga. Pengu will swing right on in, but get tagged and shot down, and there you go. As soon as it started, the offense will get shot down, and Team Empire will prove an equal to G2 case today.
That's a victory for Empire in a lot of ways, and for G2, that's tough for them. You know, there were points left on the board there for G2, and they couldn't hang. Empire proving to be too strong, and obviously, I don't know what it was, but those first 3 rounds for Empire really were the tale for this matchup. G2 were able to find their footing afterwards in great fashion, but there was just too much of a gap to close.
Yep.
So, at the end of the day, you can't ask any of your questions to Fabian or to Karjeka. I'll have to wait till a different time.
I'm kind of glad I'm going to talk to Fabian every single time, but, you know, to each their own. In this case, this will be a negative matchup for G2. Unfortunately for the squad, they only get 1 point out of it, which put them at 5th place. Well, at 5 points. Leaves them at 6th place, right below ENCE. So they do not move up in those standings. And remember, ENCE is still not played. That is the final game of the day versus Mocket.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a big opportunity for Mocket as well to pick up points. Now, keep in mind, Mocket are at 0. So at best, they're going to take 3 points. That's really not going to do all that much. But ENCE can give themselves a little bit bigger breathing room. And it's funny, because heading into this season, I think a lot of people looked at ENCE and were a little worried about how competitive EU was and how ENCE would be through the season. We still got a lot of games to go, obviously. But Mocket versus ENCE, to finish things off, that'll probably be a very explosive match.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. And just a point before we move on to that, if ENCE win today, They had already beaten Le Stream. They'll put themselves in the 3rd spot for EU. So it's a pretty good spot to be in at the end of the day. With that tidbit, we'll get ready for our final matchup of the day. ENCE versus Rocket Esports. We'll be right back, gentlemen and ladies.
Diffuser. Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.